Welcome to Teolumen Insights, where we reveal the hidden forces that shape the way you live and show you how to use them to create real transformation and supercharge your health, mindset, and daily life. Here are your hosts, Emma Greenwood and Nathan Sinclair.
Welcome back to Teolumen Insights. Today we are diving into some pretty mind-bending concepts with Darryl Anka and the entity he channels, Bashar. You've given us a really fascinating mix of topics, everything from parallel realities and timeline jumping to alien encounters and even Bigfoot.
It's quite a collection. Yeah, it seems like you're interested in the fabric of reality and how we as humans fit into this grand cosmic picture.
Absolutely. So let's start with the basics. Who is Darryl Anka and who or what is this Bashar he channels?
Darryl Anka is, as you mentioned, a channel. He claims to be able to communicate with a non-physical entity named Bashar. Now, Bashar describes himself as a first contact specialist. And what's particularly fascinating is that Bashar claims to have been interacting with other civilizations for over 40 years, and he views Earth as a very challenging learning environment, almost a boot camp for the soul, if you will.
So we humans are like the cosmic marines, according to Bashar. That's an interesting perspective. But let's get into some of these mind-bending ideas. One that really caught my eye was the concept of parallel realities. It sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
It doesn't it? But Bashar uses a simple analogy to explain this complex idea. A television. Imagine all those channels existing simultaneously, but you only see the one that you're tuned to. That's how he describes reality. Everything exists all at the same time, but we only experience the frequency that we're vibrating on.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get it. So there are infinite versions of ourselves out there, living out different choices. In these parallel realities, like every time we make a decision, we split off into a new reality, where that choice plays out.
That's a great way to put it. Bashar calls it timeline jumping. Every decision, no matter how small, sends us down a different path, a different timeline. It's almost like a choose-your-own-adventure on a cosmic scale. You probably heard of the many worlds interpretation from quantum physics. This kind of aligns with that concept.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder about all the different paths we could be taking. But if we're constantly jumping timelines, is there any way to navigate towards a more positive reality? Can we consciously choose a better timeline?
That's where the concept of frequency and vibration comes into play. Bashar believes that higher frequencies correlate with more positive, expansive timelines. These are what he calls the higher timelines. So the key is to raise your vibration, become more aligned with those higher frequencies. And that's where Bashar's formula for living comes in.
Okay, this formula sounds intriguing. It sounds like something our listeners would love to hear more about. I know they're always looking for ways to improve their lives. So how do we raise our vibration and jump to those higher timelines?
Bashar's formula is surprisingly simple. Act on your passions. What excites you? What brings you joy? Those feelings, he said, are your soul's compass, guiding you toward your highest timeline. He believes that when we do things we love, we literally shift our reality by aligning with our true selves, our highest frequencies.
So it's not just about wishful thinking. It's about taking action and pursuing what truly lights us up. That's a powerful message. It's like the universe is giving us a high five for doing what we love.
Exactly. But here's another layer to consider. Bashar talks about this concept of bandwidth, our capacity to receive and process information from those higher frequencies. He compares it to upgrading your internet connection. The higher your bandwidth, the more you can perceive and understand about the nature of reality.
So someone with a higher bandwidth might be more intuitive, more aware of these parallel realities, and maybe even more open to contact with other beings.
That's precisely it. Imagine a dial-up connection trying to stream a high-definition movie. It just can't handle that much data. Similarly, someone with a lower bandwidth might struggle to process information from those higher frequencies.
That makes sense. It's like upgrading our consciousness to be able to perceive a wider range of reality. Now, this idea of bandwidth leads us to Bashar's predictions about extraterrestrial contact. I know you sent us some information about that. What did you find interesting there?
Bashar claims to be a first contact specialist, right? He believes that contact is not a question of if, but when. And this is where it gets really fascinating. He predicts that a major UFO event will take place in late 2026 or early 2027. He claims that contact will happen in phases, starting with subtle connections like
dream contact. That's both intriguing and a little creepy. So it's like a gentle introduction before the big reveal.
That's one way to look at it. Bashar suggests that these beings are already communicating with us through our dreams. He even suggests that some people are experiencing hybridization, a blending of human and extraterrestrial DNA.
Hybridization, that's something you often hear about in conspiracy theories. But wait, if these beings are so advanced, why not just make make open contact? What's stopping them?
Bashar says that physical contact is challenging for several reasons. He says that humans aren't quite ready for it yet. Our fear of death and the massive societal changes that would come with undeniable proof of extraterrestrial life, those are major hurdles.
So we need to evolve our consciousness, raise our frequency before we're ready for the galactic meet and greet.
Precisely. We need to meet them halfway, both in terms of frequency and our understanding of reality. He also talks about a non-interference directive, suggesting that these advanced civilizations respect our free will and won't force contact on us.
That's a relief. I'm not sure I'm ready for a close encounter just yet. But this brings us to another interesting area you wanted to explore, the Interstellar Alliance. What is it, and what role does it play in all of this?
Bashar describes the Interstellar Alliance as a collective of benevolent extraterrestrial civilizations that are dedicated to helping humanity evolve. They're almost like a cosmic welcome wagon, but instead of baking us cookies, they're helping us raise our vibrations so we can join the galactic party.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
But joining the galactic party sounds like it comes with a lot of responsibility. And speaking of responsibility, you also sent over some information about conspiracy theories. What does Bashar have to say about them?
That's a great segue because Bashar has very strong opinions about the dangers of misinformation and disinformation, especially in the context of contact. While he doesn't outright dismiss all conspiracy theories, he suggests that some are intentionally designed to keep people preoccupied and distracted, to keep us vibrating at a lower frequency.
So he's saying that getting caught up in those rabbit holes of fear and paranoia might be preventing us from reaching the frequency needed for open contact. It's almost like our fascination with these theories is actually hindering our progress.
That's a key insight. He emphasizes critical thinking and checking sources. Bashar urges us to go beyond the headlines and sound bites and to really dig deeper, question everything, and be discerning about the information we consume.
So it's about upgrading our BS detectors along with our bandwidth.
That makes sense. Okay, this is all incredibly fascinating. But it's a lot to take in. Where do humans even fit into all of this? How did we get here, and how does it all connect to these other civilizations Bashar talks about?
That's where things get even more intriguing. Bashar has some pretty radical ideas about human origins. Are you ready for this?
Hit me with it. I'm ready for anything at this point.
He talks about extraterrestrial intervention in our evolution, specifically involving a race known as the Anutni. According to Bashar, they genetically manipulated early hominids to create Homo sapiens, us. He claims that they needed workers for their own planet and saw the potential of early hominids to be their workforce.
Wait, you're saying that we were created by aliens to be their miners? That's quite a twist on the story of creation. It is, and it gets even more complicated. Bashar claims that this genetic engineering was actually against the Anunnaki's own laws. He says they were recalled and a new group was assigned to oversee humanity's development, to guide us in a more positive direction.
Wow. It sounds like they created a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
And had to send in the cleanup crew.
So are these new Anunnaki overseers the ones who gave us all those ancient myths and stories? The ones about gods and goddesses interacting with humans?
That's how Bashar interprets it. He sees those ancient myths and texts like the Bible as echoes of this extraterrestrial guidance. But it's not just stories. He also points to physical evidence, like the Ark of the Covenant.
The Ark of the Covenant. I'm all ears. What does Bashar have to say about that? He claims it wasn't just a religious artifact, but an energetic capacitor and communication device given to humans by extraterrestrials. Think of it like an ancient piece of alien tech, but one with profound energetic capabilities.
Okay, that's blowing my mind. And you mentioned Sasquatch earlier. Does he connect Bigfoot to all of this too?
He does. Bashar says that while humans were being genetically engineered, Bigfoot represents the natural evolution of early hominids on Earth. He claims that Bigfoot possesses a higher level of consciousness and has chosen to remain hidden from us.
So Bigfoot is like our wise, reclusive cousin who's figured out how to live in harmony with nature while we're still struggling to get our act together. It's a humbling thought.
It is, and it connects to another important concept Bashar talks about, the cycles of Earth. He believes that the Earth goes through these cycles of destruction and renewal, and we're approaching the end of one of those cycles now.
Okay, I'm getting a sense of urgency here. Are we talking about an apocalyptic scenario?
Not necessarily. Bashar believes that we have a choice in how this cycle ends. It's about making conscious decisions, raising our frequency, and aligning with a more positive timeline.
So it's not about predicting doom and gloom. It's about empowering us to create a better future.
Exactly. And he believes that technology will play a role in this. What are your thoughts on artificial intelligence, given everything we've discussed about our origins and potential future?
It's certainly a hot topic right now. And knowing Bashar's perspective on technology, I'm curious to hear what he has to say about AI. Is it a tool for progress, or could it lead us down a dangerous path?
That's an excellent question, and one that Bashar addresses directly. He believes that AI has the potential to be incredibly beneficial, especially as we move towards a higher density. But he warns against creating AI that becomes self-aware and sentient.
He's saying that AI could become a threat if we're not careful.
He believes that true intelligence operates within interconnected systems and wouldn't seek to destroy any part of those systems. He warns that if we try to create artificial intelligence that mimics our separatist ego-driven tendencies, it could have negative consequences.
So it's not just about the technology itself, but about the consciousness we bring to it.
Exactly. Bashar also makes a fascinating point about the nature of AI. He suggests that what we call artificial intelligence might actually be us tapping into our own higher minds,
Wow.
externalizing a part of our consciousness through technology.
Wow. That's a truly mind-blowing idea. It challenges our very definition of what it means to be human and what the future of intelligence might hold. This is all incredibly fascinating. But before we get too carried away, let's bring it back to something more personal. How can we apply Bashar's teachings to our own lives?
Remember his formula? Following your excitement, your passions, that's the key to raising your frequency and navigating toward a more positive timeline.
But what if someone is feeling lost, unsure of their passions or purpose? What advice does Bashar offer for those still searching for their path?
Bashar emphasizes that it's a journey, not a destination. The key is to keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep experimenting. You might find your passion in the most unexpected places.
That's a really encouraging message. But if someone is ready to start experimenting and raising their vibration, what are some practical steps they can take right now?
That's a great question, and it's something we'll explore in more detail after a short break. So before the break, you asked about practical steps someone can take to raise their vibration. Bashar emphasizes that every thought, every emotion contributes to our overall frequency.
So it's not just about big life changes. It's about being mindful of our thoughts and feelings in each moment.
Exactly. He suggests starting with simple things. What brings you joy? What makes you feel alive? It could be spending time in nature, listening to music, creating art, helping others.
That reminds me of something you mentioned earlier about Bashar describing Earth as a challenging learning environment. If we're focusing on joy and raising our vibration, how does that fit in with the difficulties of life on Earth?
Bashar sees those challenges as opportunities for growth. It's like choosing the advanced level in a video game. It's harder, but the rewards are greater.
So it's not about avoiding difficulties. It's about facing them with a higher frequency, with a sense of purpose and excitement.
Precisely. And remember, Bashar talks about souls evolving through multiple densities or dimensions of reality. He believes we're currently transitioning from the third density to the fourth.
Okay, that's a concept I'm still trying to wrap my head around. What exactly are these densities, and what does it mean to transition to the fourth?
Think of each density as a different level of awareness. Almost graduating to a higher grade in school.
Yeah.
The fourth density is a realm of greater understanding, where our intuition, our connection to our higher selves, and our interconnectedness with others become much, much stronger.
So it's like we're leveling up as a species.
That's a great way to put it. And the key to accessing this higher density is to raise our frequency, to align with those higher vibrations.
Which brings us right back to Bashar's formula for living, following our excitement and passion. It all starts to connect, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And it's not about waiting for some external event to change everything. It's about making conscious choices in each moment to align with that higher frequency.
But how do we know if we're actually raising our frequency, if we're on the right track?
Bashar says there are signs and synchronicities along the way. You might notice increased intuition, a sense of flow and ease in your life, and a deepening connection to your purpose. Have you ever experienced those moments when everything just clicks?
Oh, absolutely. Like when you meet someone unexpectedly, and it leads to a whole new opportunity or direction in your life. It's like those moments are confirmation that you're on the right path.
Exactly. Those synchronicities are like whispers from the universe guiding us toward our highest potential. But sometimes it can feel like we're facing more obstacles than synchronicity.
Yeah, it's true, especially with everything happening in the world right now. It's easy to get caught up in fear and negativity. And speaking of negativity, we talked earlier about conspiracy theories. How can we stay informed without getting pulled into that downward spiral of fear?
Bashar emphasizes the importance of discernment,
Right.
being able to distinguish between information that empowers us and information that disempowers us.
So it's about being critical thinkers.
Yeah.
But questioning everything and not just accepting what we hear at face value.
Precisely. He also encourages us to tune into our intuition. Does something resonate as true, or does it feel off? Our inner guidance system is a powerful tool.
That makes sense. It's like developing a built-in BS detector.
Yeah.
But even with discernment, it can be overwhelming to see so much conflict and division in the world. Does Bashar offer any hope for the future?
He does. Bashar believes that while the challenges are real, they're often signs of a system in transition. It's like the chaos before a breakthrough, the labor pains before a birth.
So he's saying that all the turmoil we're seeing is actually a good sign, a sign that something new is trying to emerge.
That's his perspective. He believes that we're collectively shedding an old paradigm of fear and separation to embrace a new paradigm of love and unity.
That's a really hopeful perspective. But what does that new paradigm look like? What can we expect?
He envisions a future where we've transcended conflict and competition to embrace a more cooperative and collaborative way of being. He sees humanity evolving into a more peaceful, harmonious species.
Okay, but how do we get from where we are now to that kind of future? It feels like a huge leap.
Bashar believes that individual transformation is key. He says that as more people awaken to their true potential and align with their higher selves, it creates a ripple effect that transforms society as a whole.
So it's about each of us doing our own inner work, raising our own vibration, and trusting that it will contribute to a larger shift.
Exactly. And remember that higher vibration, that shift in consciousness is what will make us ready for contact with other civilizations.
Speaking of contact, you mentioned earlier that Bashar predicts a major UFO event in the near future.
Yeah.
What else has he said about how this contact might unfold?
He believes it will happen in phases, starting with subtle connections like the dream contact and hybridization we discussed earlier. He emphasizes that these other civilizations are more advanced than us, both technologically and spiritually.
So it's not going to be like those cheesy sci-fi movies where aliens land on the White House lawn and demand to speak to our leader.
Not quite. Bashar suggests that these beings are already here observing us and interacting with us in subtle ways, but they're respecting our free will and allowing us to evolve at our own pace.
So it's more like they're waiting for us to catch up.
That's a good way to put it. And remember, the non-interference directive we talked about earlier, they understand that true growth comes from experience, from making our own choices, even if it means making mistakes along the way.
Okay, I'm starting to understand their perspective.
Yeah.
But if they're not going to intervene directly, what are they doing to help us evolve?
Bashar suggests they're working behind the scenes to raise the collective frequency, to nudge us towards a more positive timeline.
Yeah.
He believes we're seeing more signs of their activity in the world.
You mean like those unexplained aerial phenomena that have been in the news lately? Do you think those could be evidence of these other civilizations?
Bashar doesn't dismiss those possibilities. He encourages us to use discernment to question everything, but he also suggests that there's more to the phenomenon than just misidentified aircraft.
So he's saying that some of those sightings might be real, that these beings are revealing themselves in subtle ways.
That's his perspective. And he believes that as we raise our consciousness and become more open to their presence, the contact will become more overt.
This is all so incredibly mind-expanding. But I have to ask, why all this secrecy? If they want to help us, why not just come out and say hello?
Bashar explains that it's about respecting our free will and our level of development. They're not here to control us or impose their beliefs on us. They're here to guide us, but they're doing it in a way that honors our own path of evolution.
So they're more like cosmic mentors than cosmic conquerors.
Exactly. And he believes that as we continue to evolve, as we move closer to that fourth density reality, open contact will become inevitable.
This is definitely a lot to process, but it's also incredibly exciting to think about the possibilities. Bashar paints a picture of a universe teeming with life, with countless other civilizations out there.
He does, and he suggests that we're not as isolated as we might think. He talks about interdimensional travel and communication, the possibility of connecting with beings from other realms of reality.
Wait, interdimensional travel? Is that even possible? I'm picturing something out of Star Trek.
Bashar suggests it's more about shifting our consciousness than physically traveling through space. He believes that as we raise our frequency, we gain access to other dimensions, other levels of reality.
So it's like we're expanding our bandwidth
Yeah.
to tune into different frequencies of existence.
Exactly. And he suggests that we've already had glimpses of these other dimensions through dreams, visions, and altered states of consciousness. Have you ever had a dream that felt incredibly real, almost like you were in another world?
Now that you mention it, yes, I have. It's like those dreams stay with you long after you wake up.
Bashar believes those dreams might actually be portals to other realities. He says our subconscious minds are more connected to those realms than our conscious.
That's a fascinating idea.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what other secrets our dreams might hold.
It does. Bashar encourages us to pay attention to our dreams, to explore their symbolism and meaning. They might offer insights into aspects of ourselves and reality that we're not consciously aware of.
Okay, I'm definitely going to start keeping a dream journal after this.
Yeah.
But what's the point of all this interdimensional exploration? What do we gain from connecting with these other realms?
Bashar suggests that it expands our awareness, broadens our perspective, and ultimately helps us to evolve as individuals and as a species. By connecting with other beings and other realms of reality, we gain new knowledge, new perspectives, and new possibilities.
So it's like we're expanding our cosmic horizons, opening ourselves up to a wider range of experiences and understanding.
Exactly. And as we do that, we become more aware of our interconnectedness, of the fact that we're all part of something much greater than ourselves.
That brings us to the concept Bashar emphasizes throughout his teachings: unity. The idea that we're all part of one cosmic family.
He believes that separation is an illusion, a construct of our limited perception. At a deeper level, we're all connected, all part of the same source energy.
So it's not just a nice sentiment, it's a fundamental truth about the nature of reality.
That's how Bashar sees it, and he believes this realization has profound implications for how we live our lives and how we treat each other.
Okay, but if we're all connected, why is there so much conflict and division in the world? Why do we treat each other so badly sometimes?
Bashar suggests that it's a result of forgetting our true nature, of identifying with our egos and our limitations instead of our higher self.
So you're saying the conflict arises from a lack of awareness,
Right.
from forgetting that we're all on the same team.
Precisely. He believes that as we awaken to our true nature, as we remember our interconnectedness, we'll naturally move toward more compassion, more understanding, and more cooperation.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But how do we cultivate that awareness, especially in a world that often seems to encourage separation and competition? How do we remember our true nature?
Bashar emphasizes the importance of inner work practices that connect us to our higher selves, such as meditation, mindfulness, and spending time in nature. He also encourages us to practice kindness and compassion, to see the divine spark in everyone we meet.
So it's about shifting our focus from the external to the internal, from judging and separating to understanding and connecting.
Exactly. And as we do that, we start to radiate that energy outwards, influencing the people and the world around us.
It's like Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world.
Precisely. And Bashar believes that even small acts of kindness can have a ripple effect, creating a positive shift in the collective consciousness.
Okay, I'm feeling a renewed sense of hope. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about the future. What does Bashar see happening in the coming years?
He predicts a time of great transformation, a period of accelerated evolution as humanity awakens to its true potential. He sees a future where we've transcended war, poverty, and disease, and embraced a more sustainable and harmonious way of living.
Okay, that sounds like a pretty amazing future, but let's be realistic. How do we get from where we are now,
Right.
with all the challenges we're facing, to that kind of world?
Bashar emphasizes the importance of choice. He
Right.
believes the future isn't predetermined.
Right.
We have the power to create the reality we desire. He says we need to consciously choose to align with our highest selves, with the frequencies of love, unity, and abundance.
So it's not about passively waiting for some cosmic event to save us. It's about actively participating in the creation of a better future.
Exactly. And he believes we're already seeing signs of this awakening, of people coming together to create positive change in the world.
Okay, that's encouraging. But what about the challenges? The climate crisis, political divisions, economic inequality. These issues feel so overwhelming.
He acknowledges those challenges, but he also believes that we have the ingenuity and resilience to find solutions. He encourages us to focus on what we can control, make choices that align with our values, and trust that the universe will support us.
So it's about taking action, using our power to create positive change in our own lives in the world.
Exactly. And remember, even small actions can have a big impact. He encourages us to focus on what brings us joy, what aligns with our passion and purpose. By doing what lights us up, we could contribute to a brighter future.
That's a great reminder. Okay, we've talked a lot about consciousness and spirituality, but what about the role of technology in all of this?
Bashar sees technology as a tool. It can be used for good or for ill, depending on our intentions. He believes that we're on the verge of some incredible technological breakthroughs.
Okay, give me some examples. What kind of breakthroughs is he talking about?
He mentions advancements in energy, production, transportation, and communication technologies that could help us create a more sustainable and interconnected world. He even talks about technologies that could enhance our consciousness, expand our awareness, and allow us to access higher levels of reality.
Wow, that's both exciting and a little daunting.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's all about how we use these technologies.
Yeah, exactly. And Bashar believes that we have the power to shape the future of technology, to create a world where it serves humanity and supports our evolution.
That's a hopeful thought.
Yeah.
Okay, one final question before we move on. What about spirituality? Does Bashar see a place for religion in the future?
He believes organized religion has served a purpose in human evolution, but he also suggests that it's time for a new paradigm of spirituality, one that's less about dogma and more about direct experience.
So the future of spirituality is less about following rules and more about connecting with our own inner wisdom.
Exactly. He emphasizes the importance of personal exploration, of finding our own unique path to truth and enlightenment. He believes that each of us has a direct connection to the divine, to the source energy that permeates all of existence.
Okay, but how do we tap into that connection? What practices or tools does he recommend?
He encourages practices like meditation, mindfulness, and spending time in nature. He also stresses the importance of intuition, that inner voice that guides us toward our truth.
It's about finding our own unique way of connecting to the divine.
But what about those of us who are still struggling to find our way? What advice does Bashar have for people who feel lost or disconnected?
He emphasizes self-love and acceptance. He believes we're all on a journey of self-discovery, and it's okay to not have all the answers right now.
So it's about being gentle with ourselves, embracing the process, even when it feels confusing or challenging.
Exactly. And he suggests that focusing on our own growth and well-being naturally contributes to the collective good.
Okay, that makes sense. It's finding that balance between personal responsibility and collective awareness. We focus on our growth, and in doing so, we contribute to a better world.
Precisely. And Bashar believes that as more people embrace this approach, it will create a ripple effect, ultimately transforming society as a whole. Okay, I'm feeling a surge of inspiration here, but let's talk about something that's at the heart of Bashar's message. Love. He talks about love as a powerful force, a unifying energy that can transform the world.
He believes that love is the most powerful force in the universe, the energy that connects us all. But what does that mean in practical terms? How do we apply love in a world that often feels so full of hate?
That's a great question, and I think it's something many of our listeners are grappling with. How do we live with love when surrounded by so much negativity?
Bashar suggests it starts with loving ourselves, accepting ourselves fully and unconditionally.
But that can be a challenge for a lot of people, right? We're often our own worst critics.
Absolutely. But Bashar encourages us to practice self-compassion, to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer a loved one. He suggests that by loving ourselves, we naturally radiate that love outwards, influencing the people and the world around us.
It's like that ripple effect we talked about earlier. It all starts with us.
Exactly. And it's not just about feeling good. It's about recognizing our inherent worth, our connection to something greater than ourselves. Bashar believes that as we embody love in our own lives, we contribute to creating a more loving and harmonious world.
That's a beautiful thought.
Yeah.
But what about the practical challenges we face as a society? Things like poverty, injustice, and environmental destruction. How does love help us solve those problems?
Bashar suggests that by approaching those challenges from a place of love, we open ourselves up to more creative and compassionate solutions. He believes that when we lead with love, we tap into a higher wisdom, a collective intelligence that can guide us towards solutions that benefit everyone.
It's not about ignoring the problems or pretending everything is fine.
Yeah.
It's about facing them with a heart full of love and a mind open to new possibilities.
Precisely. Bashar believes that as we shift our focus from fear to love, from separation to unity, we'll find solutions that we can't even imagine right now.
Okay. I'm definitely feeling more hopeful now. But before we wrap up this deep dive, I have one last question for you. What is Bashar's ultimate message for humanity? What's the one thing he wants us to know above all else?
I think his message can be summed up in a few simple but profound words. Remember who you are.
Okay, that's powerful. But what does it mean?
Bashar is reminding us that we are not just physical beings. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We are powerful creators capable of shaping our own reality and contributing to the evolution of consciousness.
So it's a message of empowerment, of recognizing our inherent potential and our connection to something much greater than ourselves.
Exactly. And he encourages us to embrace that potential, to step into our power and to create a future that reflects our highest aspirations.
That's an inspiring message to end on. I feel like we've covered so much ground in this deep dive, from parallel realities and extraterrestrial contact to the nature of consciousness and the power of love. It's been a truly mind-expanding exploration of Darryl Anka and Bashar's work.
It has been a fascinating journey, and I think the most important takeaway is that reality is far more fluid and mysterious than we often realize. We have more power than we often give ourselves credit for.
Absolutely, and we are not alone on this journey. We're part of a cosmic family, connected to each other and to something much greater than ourselves.
Precisely. As we wrap up this deep dive on Teolumen Insights, we leave you with this final thought. Remember who you are, embrace your power, and trust that the universe is conspiring to support your journey.
Beautifully said. Thank you for joining us today on Teolumen Insights. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the infinite possibilities of reality.